Right, welcome back. We're still discussing fostering youth participation in democratic politics. You have to take me to the next question. Is democracy actually working? And what are the dividends of democracy in our country as it stands now?
Before I answer that question, let me quickly say this. In response to what you said before, you say power is never given.
Yeah.
You will take it.
Yes.
Nobody's going to sit back and say, well, please now young people come and take over. Yeah. And where there is a will, there's a way.
Yeah, that's it.
Is our democracy working? I believe it is working. Yeah. Not as much as it should, but I believe it's working, especially with this new amendment that's made to the electoral law. Mm-hmm. Young people can aspire, young people can come together and take the reign of power. It's working. And you also asked about the dividend of democracy. Yes. You see, there are two dividends of democracy that we must understand. The first one has to do with the right of individuals to make choices. Right. It's not first about infrastructure. That I can speak up and say, I want to contest against Buhari. Okay, it's going now. I want to contest in 2023. I want to become the next governor of Lagos State. I want to become the governor of Ogun State. That one can come out and then express his political perspective is democracy at work. And that is happening in this nation. Then secondly, we also have the issue of infrastructural development and other natural dividends of democracy. I believe that we need to take the political dimension of Nigeria to the next level. We have had promises that have been unfulfilled. The same story since I was born. We're going to give you roads, we're going to give you water. When are we going to aspire to go to space? When are we going to change the narrative that the black man is the unfortunate being? When are we going to change the narrative that the black man is cursed?
And only Nigeria will be able to do that.
It is only God has placed us in a strategic position to be the only nation that can change the fortune of the black person.
Yes.
We are the only one, by virtue of our size, by virtue of the population, by virtue of resources. In fact, if Nigeria fails, the black man will fail. But I can say this. That's why we are here in this program. Young people must arise. Yes. We must not fail this nation. We must rewrite the story. You are talking about funding. Nigerian youths have what it takes to generate. Even the government were surprised. During the funding of ENSA, they were trying to look for how the funding... See, we have the ingenuity. Exactly. All we need to do is to have the will to come together to change things. Knowing that things
that willingness can be key.
That's the key. Yes. Things can change. See, governance is no rocket science at all. We're not going to rewind the wheel and trying to remold the wheel and say, no, all we need to do is to follow the system that has been mapped out. And what's the problem with this nation? Corruption, insincerity. And that will continue until people who are young and determined take hold of it.
Enough of this.
Enough of this. We must move to the next level. And 2023 is beckoning. We can't sit tight and watch 2023 go by again. No, we cannot. It's important for young people to begin to put heads together. Now, I'm not necessarily saying go and form a party. You can go into some of these old parties and change things. When people know that you are determined, when they know that you are interested, they will give in. They will make a way.
You have already said it up, just to add few to this some of more points to what you already said, because that's the question. I say, how can we promote youth participation in democratic politics? And of course, especially in the forthcoming 2023 election.
Young people must know that 2023 is here.
Already here.
INEC have rolled out the timetable. You can't sit around, lazing around, or trying to go into crime to get your life settled. No. If you think, okay, I don't want to form a political party, let us begin as young people to go. It's not just about voting. Because at the end of the day, it is the parties that will give us the candidates. But let us go actively into these political parties. Start from your ward. Let them know that when you begin to show interest, the news will spread. And they will call you for negotiation. What do you want?
Get their PVC first.
Get your PVC.
So without they cannot
get involved in the political parties. Attend the meetings. Tell them you're interested. Tell them you are here to change things. And they will call you for negotiation. What do you want? If you can bribe you up, then of course you can't make any impact. Okay. He said, it's not about me. It's about changing the system. Let us rewrite the history, the story of this nation. And we can't afford to continue like this. It's not possible. It's not possible. The same stories that they told us, we are telling our children, we are telling our grandchildren, the bad fuel, this one. Why is it that we don't have functioning refineries? These are the questions we need to answer. Why is it that we don't have electricity that is working, despite the fact that we have all the means of generating power? Why? It's the same old story, the national grid has fallen. How is this thing rocket science, for God's sake? It's not.
The money they are looting from treasury is enough to do all this.
More than enough.
Yes, more than enough.
Nigeria is one of the most blessed nations on the earth.
We are most endowed with natural
resources. Most endowed.
It's enough to fix all these things they really want to. So once someone to come up and say, what is really happening? Let's ask this question and do something, cause a change.
If young people do nothing, nothing will happen. If young people don't move, if young people don't act, nothing will happen. That's why I'm on this program. To tell young people, let us begin to take action. Don't just wait for them to give you candidates and then you go and vote. No. Who are the candidates that will come up? The parties now, listen, with the new electoral law, we can have direct or indirect form of selecting candidates. Be a force. Even if you're not going to contest in 2023, be a voice to determine those who will contest. And then you give them the mandate. These are the things you are going to do on our behalf when you get there.
Yes.
It's not for somebody to come and say, well, they spoke on my behalf, I didn't speak, I didn't say this, I didn't. We must change it. We must change the times. We must change the times.
We must cause a real change. But we have to start from somewhere. And that is the beginning of it is PVC. Yeah. Let us go and have, because that's the voting power. This morning as I was coming to this place, now they were discussing that in Wazobia, that they went to some areas in Lagos, they said they're supposed to have go and register for their PVC. Nobody is there. So they are now saying, is that not a trick again to deprive people from even going to get their PVC? But that's where it's supposed to start. So wherever you are, find out where you can get your PVC. And then, because that's the number one. And then what we're saying here now is also what you have to add. See, knows about, is there any meeting where youth are gathering to hold meeting, or they're holding meeting online or whatever, and be a part of it. Because you are a youth, your voice must count. But if you remain, your voice will not count. We continue the old story again, and the youths are suffering. It's also affecting the youths. The graduates come out, no job, nothing, because of bad management. So if we see the youth that can have that credibility, you don't just come out as an armed robber to come and vote for people to contest for. No, we don't. That's not what we're talking about. A youth that has credibility, good profile. We have some here that have profile. Even if they're not within the country now, they're outside the country, but they have good profile. That is the one we were talking about to come up. Not somebody who has already dented his image here and there and want to come and vote. No, it's not going to work. So please, we'll begin to give great attention to this participation in democratic politics. We'll take a break now. Come back, enter question and answer session. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
This is Vivid View.